Hello, friends. Today I'm going to tell you about a comedy drama from 2022, based on real events, titled Jerry and Marge Go Big. Jerry Selby is not young anymore. Every day he wakes up and goes to work with a thought that it will be his last shift. One day, speaking to the board of directors, he hints that despite to his age, he can still lead his department. However, the owners of the business only chuckle, thanking him for his long work in the company. Eventually, Jerry is sent into retirement. That same evening, Jerry and his wife have a family dinner. Their children, wanting to cheer up their father, gift him a boat. He is happy to receive such a present, but the sadness of losing job does not let him go. A month passes, and Jerry visits his buddy, Steve, asking how much his bank account has increased, but it turns out that the profit was quite insignificant. His friend tries to convince the man to invest in stocks, promising a higher return. However, Jerry is against it. He is afraid of losing his money. After a while, Jerry finally decides to launch his boat, but because of his inexperience and inattention, he almost sinks the car. At the last moment, he manages to get out of the water but accidentally breaks the boat motor. After a stressful experience, Jerry decides to calm down and drink coffee in the nearest coffee shop. He sees an advertisement of the state lottery windfall. After reading the rules, Jerry, with his outstanding computational skills, begins to calculate the odds of winning and discovers that there is a loophole in the lottery that can be exploited. He tells Steve about his discovery, and he doesn't believe his friend's words. He is convinced that the game's creators wouldn't allow the money to be taken away so easily. Jerry still decides to test his guess. He withdraws $2,000 from his bank account and buys lottery tickets for the entire amount. On the day of the drawing, Jerry sits down to check his tickets, but unfortunately, Marge comes home. She is surprised that her husband is watching a program with a lottery drawing, but Jerry turns off the TV, pretending that it was turned on by accident. When the wife leaves, Jerry turns the TV back on and writes down the numbers that fell out. Sitting in a cafe, he checks his tickets and realizes that, in the end, he is at a loss. While sitting with his guests, Jerry gets so caught up in his thoughts about the lottery that he forgets to keep the conversation going and even mixes up the card game they are playing. Marge notices her husband's strange behavior. Talking to him while sitting on the veranda, she starts a conversation about luck. Jerry suddenly realizes that the reason for the loss was the fact of luck, which he did not take into his calculations. The next day, he goes to the bank again, and this time withdraws $8,000, which is all his savings. He buys lottery tickets for the whole amount. In the afternoon, Jerry has lunch at a cafe with his wife and friends, who share that they have bought some lottery tickets and decided to try their luck. Marge says that she and her husband don't like risky deals where you can lose money. Their friends agree with her, talking about crazy people who lose thousands of dollars on similar games. Listening to the conversation of his wife and friends, Jerry begins to choke on his own food, realizing that he is one of those crazy persons. The next day, checking the lottery results, the man discovers that he has won $15,000, which is almost twice the amount he spent on tickets. When he comes home, Jerry hides in the pantry and pulls out a stack of money from his socks, which he hides in a popcorn jar. However, the man's stash is almost uncovered by his granddaughter, who wanted a sweet treat. Jerry barely had time to take the jar away from the girl and hide the money in a cereal packet. That same evening, Jerry's secret was revealed by his wife. Misunderstanding his wife's hints about the pantry, he blabbed about playing the lottery. But to his surprise, Marge did not blame him for gambling. In the end, she was very happy that they had their own entertainment, and finally, after many years, they could have fun together and live at their own pleasure. When the couple wants to buy tickets for the remaining $15,000, they find out that the lottery has closed in their state, and now they must travel to Massachusetts to buy tickets. The couple is full of enthusiasm, and they are not afraid of the difficulties that have arisen in their path. Waking up early, they hit the road. After reaching the neighboring state, Jerry and Marge stop at a gas station, where they find a lottery machine. They have to stay until the evening, because the machine only prints thousands of tickets per hour. After renting a hotel room for the night, The couple watched the lottery numbers on the program and began to check the tickets they had bought. After spending the whole night, they calculated that they won $21,000. On the way back, Marge comes up with an idea on how to get more people into the lottery to maximize their winnings. Together with Jerry, they decide to found their own corporation. To start, they invite their friends and people from hometown to join them. People like their idea, and the next time Jerry and Marge arrive at the gas station to buy tickets for $40,000. A salesman named Bill wonders where the retirees got that kind of money, and Marge explains that she and her husband are professional lottery players. Eventually, Bill also becomes a member of their investment club. In the morning, our heroes find out that their amount has doubled to $80,000. Jerry and Marge don't stop there and continue buying tickets for the full amount, doubling their savings after each lottery. Meanwhile, at Harvard University, a student named Tyler conducts research on the lottery, calculating the chance of success. After running a simulation of the drawing, he comes to the conclusion that there is a 100% chance of winning. Tyler decides to collect money from his fellow students and try his luck. Jerry organizes a meeting for investors, wanting to increase profit indicators. However, people aren't too interested in hearing about the numbers, so they go to the cafeteria to eat. Jerry decides to buy tickets for $600,000, wanting to get as much money as possible from the lottery before the loophole is discovered and closed. He's spending most of his winnings to recreate a jazz festival in the city, because for most of the townspeople, this is a special event. Harvard students have made their profits too. However, one of the students, Eric, figures out that the winnings should be larger, and after checking all the lottery data, he realizes that there are other players besides them. Sales of the new batch of tickets begin. Jerry and Marge print them while sitting at a gas station celebrating their 46th anniversary. At this time, Tyler and Eric walk inside. They start chuckle at the sight of a couple of retirees, because initially they thought they would see a criminal gang. The guys invite the old couple to join their group instead of playing separately, but Jerry is against it. He refuses the offer, and the guys leave with nothing. A few days later, Tyler comes to Michigan again, and being alone with Jerry, he threatens him to hack into the accounts of all his investors. He assures the man that a group of his guys would have no trouble finding information about all people involved in the winnings. He tells Jerry to end with the lottery, because he has already made a lot of money. Jerry realizes that it is risky to continue playing the lottery, and at a meeting of investors, he announces that they are quitting the game. However, after a conversation with his son and wife, the man decides not to step back, but to keep playing. Tyler finds out that the tickets buying from Massachusetts continues. He comes up with a scheme in which his group will buy the tickets early and intercept the distribution of the jackpot, but to carry out this plan, he needs a larger amount of money. He's asking for help to his businessman father's colleagues, who are ready to invest their money in the student's idea. Their plan eventually works out. After recognizing Tyler's scheme, Jerry goes to visit him at the university and shames him in front of all his colleagues for the fact that all the students help him become richer, and he does nothing for them in return and does not share the winnings. When Jerry leaves, the students stop filling out lottery tickets. Jerry comes to the conclusion that if the lottery management knows about the winnings and does nothing about it, then they don't care about it. Together with Marge, they meet with the board of directors. He asks them to make the jackpot amount transparent so that all participants can see it, to avoid the possibility of early distribution. Meanwhile, journalist Maya Jordan of the Boston Globe investigates and discovers that Jerry and Tyler are regular lottery winners. She visits a retired man, and he shows her boxes filled with lottery tickets. He tells her that he doesn't tire of checking the tickets from morning till night. This is what makes him happy. He surprises the woman with his words. The director of the Boston Globe demands a devastating article from the journalist, but she finds out that Jerry and other investors are spending the winning money on the development of the city. The day comes when Jerry and Marge decide to gamble one last time. They have enough winnings to rebuild the town. Arriving at the gas station as usual, they notice the ticket machines being taken away from their regular point of purchase. They realize that the lottery management has revoked the license, after a newspaper article comes out exposing the vulnerability of the game. The newspaper article featuring Tyler catches the eye of his father, who comes to pick him up at the university, forcing him to pack his bags and leave with him. In the evening, Jerry and his wife come to the investors' meeting and are surprised by the opening of the jazz festival that his friends have organized. The townspeople admit that on the last day, they themselves went to all outlets in the state and bought up all tickets. They are all grateful to Jerry for what he has done for all of them and for the town. The movie ends with Jerry and Marge dancing as they run away from the festival to count the profits from the lottery tickets. The couple spent most of the money on improving their town. Also, like many of their friends and neighbors, they invested in the education of their children and grandchildren. Well, the salesman Bill arranged for himself the most comfortable man's den. During his entire participation in the lottery, Jerry won $27 million. Friends, thanks for watching. Write in the comments what you think about this movie. Please support us with likes and subscribe to the channel to not miss the next retellings.